Let's try. There we go. Sorry about that. I don't know what it is with this mic. It's very, very sensitive, so I'm trying to stay as close to it as I possibly can. I hope you guys can hear me. I hope the music isn't blaring. If any of those are not... if you can't hear me or the music is blaring, please let me know. Let me go ahead and shrink some of this background stuff just so we get it out of the way. Here's that info. Thank you, President Nod. How are you guys doing? Okay, did I do all the things? I hope I did all the things. Really hoping I did all the things. Well, we're gonna find out anyway. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to Cocktails in Consoles. YouTube's not receiving enough. Oh, shut up. You are cute, YouTube. Welcome back to Cocktails in Consoles. It's Melissa, and today we are celebrating Valentine's Day all day long. Not only am I live streaming this, right after this, I'm going to be filming a Catherine cocktail video, which I think we all can say is Valentine's Day gone horribly wrong. So I cannot wait to start that. Okay, I'm seeing the preview. The preview's kind of looking good. Let me know on the music if I need to turn it down or turn it up. So what we are covering today, I'm going to show you guys recipes that look really beautiful on a plate but are super easy to make. Don't cost you a lot of money. So if you're looking to dazzle a date or just treat yourself to something nice on February 14th, even if you don't have a date, that's no excuse. You can always treat yourself as your date for Valentine's Day. Let me tell you, I show this girl a damn good time on Valentine's Day. If I'm dating someone, we have plans later, but first, this girl's going to the spa. She's gonna get her nails done. She's gonna go out to a really nice lunch. Like, plan on treating yourself really nicely on the 14th, and then if you happen to be with someone, then they can just do more on top of that. So that is how I like to spend Valentine's Day. Though to get us started, it would not be Valentine's Day without something bubbly. So I'm going to show you guys not only some ways to still have the bubbly even without a huge tab involved, and how to open this safely so you don't take your date's eye out. I'm gonna date myself. That's right. That's how you do. Andrew, what's up, dude? Music is a little loud. Thank you. Okay. Let me crank that down here. Let's take that down to 15. Okay. Melissa, how's that? Valentine's Day is my parents' anniversary. Aww! That's so sweet. Well, happy early anniversary to them. Okay. Thank you for letting me know, Melissa. Alright, so to get us started, let's crack open a bottle of bubbly. So now you can go top end and get champagne, but what I actually recommend is Prosecco. And what Prosecco is basically Italian champagne. Although it can't be called champagne because only wine from the Champagne region of France done in the champagne method can be called champagne. Everywhere else it has to be called sparkling wine, but it's just as good and a hell of a lot cheaper too. So I like to use Prosecco. There's Cava from Spain, there's sparkling wines coming out of Oregon. Like, as long as you're not looking for champagne specifically, there are a lot of options at much better price points. So whichever works best for you, but if you're looking for a good recommendation, you can almost never go wrong with Prosecco. Prosecco is light, it's fruity, it's just really good, and it's bubbly. I can hear you well. Yay! Is that an AirPod I see? Yes, it's so I can hear the music and kind of jam along with you guys, but then you guys don't hear an echo. Okay, so to open a bottle of sparkling wine, I recommend getting your hands on a towel because you're gonna need this. So the first thing that we're gonna need to take care of is what's called the foil, and that's what this is here. Sometimes you get lucky and they give you a little tab that you can start pulling from. Now be a little bit careful because two things are keeping this cork in, the foil and the cage. And if you kept this into a bouncing warm car, you may be in for a little bit of a projectile, so just be very, very careful. We're gonna just push down on the cork, expose the next piece, which is, this is called the cage. Here's wine. Cherry wine is just as good as cherry soda. I agree, I love cherry wine. Okay, so now once we get involved with the cage, that's where you're going to want to keep this in play. Because even removing the cage can dislodge the cork. So we're going to keep our hand over. We're going to take this little plier thing and untwist it. Now don't be surprised, this may take you a couple of tries to really get the hang of it, but it's worth it. Alright, so I'm going to actually spread the cage out a little bit, keeping my hand on top so that way it doesn't dislodge the cork. Now here's the trick. It's getting the cage off, without hopefully losing the cork. Okay, once this cage is off, your hand does not come off this bottle until that cork is out. So what we're going to do is keeping our hands on the cork. We're not actually going to turn the cork. We're going to hold the cork and we're going to turn the bottle. What you're going to want to feel for is the cork just start letting go. And once it does, just give it a little bit of time because pressure is going to do some of the work for you. So nice and slow. And the towel will help catch it if it happens to get away from you. Okay, now it's starting to dislodge. Get a good grip on this. Wow, this is a long cork. Come on. I know you wanna. There we go. There's our cork, and not a single drop spilt. Okay. Now you can of course just pour a nice glass of bubbly, but if you want to make it a little bit special, what I recommend is get yourself some fresh raspberries. So we're going to take a couple of these raspberries, pop this sucker open, pop them into our glass, and then we're going to muddle. This will loosen up some of the berries. It's going to make a nice puree at the bottom of the glass, so you get that nice little red gradient in there. Pressure, we learned about pressure in health class. Pressure's a bitch. All right, I'm just using a little butter knife. We just want to smush these raspberries just a little bit. You don't have to go this step. You can leave the raspberries whole. You could even freeze the raspberries, and that'll help to keep the wine cold, but you won't get as much as a raspberry flavor coming through. There we go. So we got ourselves a nice puree going. Let's feed this back down to the bottom of the glass. There we go. We're gonna put our raspberries over here for our chocolate tort. Once I can lock that up. Now, last tip when it comes to bubbly, you never want to pour just straight down because you want to keep those bubbles in that wine. So to do that, you want to tilt everything on its side and just lightly pour. Now the proper way to do this would be if you keep your hand at the bottom of the bottle, but that's really hard to do. So I recommend this method. Shake it just a little bit just to dislodge some of those raspberries. Oh, that looks pretty. So cheers to you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful Valentine's Day. And if you have any tips or tricks for a great Valentine's Day, or just let me know what you guys are doing for Valentine's Day, let me know in chat. How about half smushed, half frozen? Still works. Yeah, frozen fruit is a great way to avoid having to use ice to keep your wine cold, so it doesn't dilute the wine, and you get to chew on it afterwards, which is always my favorite. Okay, now time to get to business. So I'm gonna move all this stuff over. Let's get out our trusty blade. And hone it. Now, if you've been attending a couple of these streams, you know that this is not technically sharpening the blade, it's straightening the blade. which will help it to cut easier, but it doesn't actually like grind into the metal. Hey, faulty female, how are you doing? I have grapes in the freezer. That's something that's great to just chew on. Ryan, what's up, dude? Cheers to you guys. Happy Valentine's Day in advance. If you happen to know anyone who's looking for some ideas for a Valentine's Day dinner, if you want to hit the share button and send them the link, that would be awesome. Okay, first up, we've got to get our chocolate tarts together. Now I'm going to show you guys a super easy way to do this. It's kind of cheating a little bit, but hey, they're never going to know, and it saves you a lot of money. So the first thing we need is we need 8 ounces of dark chocolate. Now, you can go down the baking aisle and you can find dark chocolate for cooking, or you can cheat like I did and get yourself 2 dark chocolate bars. Now, not only do I like to do this because it's still really good quality chocolate, but like this one has a little bit of spice to it, and this one has orange peel. So all those flavors are going to be mixing into the tart and making it nice and beautiful. Good setting for everything. Heat transfer is annoying. What do you, heat transfer in relation to, what? Faulty female? Okay. This is 3 ounces, this is 3 ounces. We'll get close to there. Let's go ahead and pop open our chocolate bars. That's kind of more than 3 ounces. Okay. Toss these. How are you? I'm doing good, Ryan. How are you doing? Go ahead and pop open our chocolate. We're getting our chocolate tarts together because these are going to have to refrigerate for about 2 hours. So unfortunately, they may not be set by the time we get done with our risotto, but I can show you what they're going to look like. Oh, it smells good. I'm almost 100% convinced that everyone voted for the risotto just because it had the chocolate dessert, which is nothing wrong with that. I just know that if I want something to win a vote, put it with a chocolate dessert. Radiation, convection, and conduction. Basically the ways that heat moves through a system. Oh, that's cool! Alright, let's open up this one. This is our orange chocolate. That's gotta be more than 3 ounces. Doesn't that look like more than 3 ounces? Okay. So the first thing that we're gonna need to do is chop up this chocolate. So I'm gonna start with the flat one first. Now this one, what I recommend doing is curling your knuckles over so you just help guide it along and just lightly chop. This may take a little bit of time because chocolate sometimes does not want to chop nice and easy. If I put a lot of force to it, we may have chocolate shards going all over the house. I wanted to see the parfait. We can still do the parfait in another stream. That's what I like best about these cooking streams rather than the cooking videos. I mean, we're still going to do the cooking videos. We've got the Persona 5 curry one coming up soon. But this gives me the chance to try out a whole bunch of different recipes that may or may not have a game or anime that we can tie it to. Now I do have to be careful with this because this is how my sister almost lost a finger. She will never, ever, ever, ever again chop chocolate. Conceptually it's cool, mathematically it's a pain. I can imagine. We don't have to go super fine on this. We just want it in smaller pieces so that way it'll melt better. And the finer we go on this, the less we have to heat the milk, which is nice. Because you don't want to scald your milk. I like this song. It's nice. It's a little dark. Like this chocolate. I still have not gotten my knife sharpened yet. I need to. It's on my to-do list. I'm getting closer to getting a lot of the channel to-dos done, which will free me up to actually getting other stuff taken care of. Like, we have a new, not inversion, what is that burner called? Well, a new tabletop burner that we can try out for this stream. Now, I'm not going to link it in the description down below until we really kick the tires on it, because I don't want to risk you guys seeing it and thinking it's good quality before we really had a chance to figure out if that's really the case. So while I'm chopping the chocolate, let me know what you guys are doing for Valentine's Day. Where are you going? What are you cooking? You're going to dinner? Are you getting seafood? Are you getting steak? Like, what is your ideal Valentine's Day dinner? Whether you're making it or someone's making it for you. You're taking a break from Final Fantasy IX. That's cool. There we go. So I'm glad these are relatively thin. So for this chocolate tart, we're actually making a ganache, which is just a fancy term for melting chocolate in milk. So it kind of turns it almost in the consistency of, if you've ever eaten a chocolate truffle, it's going to be kind of like that. Yes, it is another induction cooktop, yes. I'm hoping this one is better. Thank you for sending me the link to the video, Bill. So it was one off of that. Sadly, not the $250 one, because this channel doesn't make that much yet. Although I'm hoping with the idea of the fanfic streams that maybe we can start to raise some money for the channel. Because I would like to do like bigger and better things for you guys, but I'm not gonna lie. This stream isn't that bad when it comes to money, because basically whatever I'm cooking, I'm eating for dinner. So it's the cocktail videos and the standalone cooking videos that can be a little bit costly just because of the ingredients that are used. Valentine's Day is gonna be rough for me. My mom says that she'll look after me and get takeout in a movie. That's awesome. You should watch Clue. That's a great movie when you just want to laugh. Clue or Spaceballs? Those are my go-tos. Let's see if I can. There we go. Maybe rocking this is gonna help this along. There we go. Okay, this is kind of working. It's been a long time since I've chopped chocolate. I'm not normally a chocolate kind of gal, so it's actually very rare that I cook with chocolate. Unless I'm making mole sauce, and then I use a little bit of chocolate. Oh, you know what'd be really good, Ryan? Look up some gourmet popcorn recipes and make some gourmet popcorn for the movie. You could do like a rosemary lemon zest salt. If that's your thing. You can make it nice and spicy. Okay, this guy's done. Let's go ahead and clean off my blade here. And grab us a bowl. Now we gotta transfer all of this to our bowl. But like I said, it's Valentine's Day. Whether or not you're with someone should not dictate whether you get to have a good day. So always treat yourself on Valentine's Day. Now, if you love flowers and candy, buy yourself flowers and candy. There's nothing wrong with it. You really want to have some fun, order the flowers and the candy and make up the lewdest card you can ever think of. Just so that way whoever has to write it's like, what the hell are they celebrating? That's a fun one. I do need to get a proper bench scraper. You're right, Bill. Well, thankfully we've been getting some donations, so I can, once I get the mic swapped out, that'll be the next thing that I get. Okay, get the chocolate off my fingers. Buy yourself flowers and candy the day after Valentine's Day when it's 50% off. That's also a good trick. I do like that one. Oh look, it looks like a little blossoming flower in our wine. Okay, now on to our orange. Make sure my hands are nice and dry. Oh yeah, putting your hand on top of the knife works so much better. See, I learned something. Also keeps your fingers out of the way, which I'm a big fan of. Oh, I think there's nuts in this one. Oh no, that's candied orange peel. That's right. I want a little bit of orange flavor in there. Actually, that's a good question. So when it comes to Valentine's Day candy or just like chocolate in general, what is your favorite? Are you bonbon people? Are you truffle people? Is it the wonderful mixture of chocolate and peanut butter? Chocolate and raspberries, some people really love. Or this one, chocolate and oranges. Or my favorite, white chocolate. Which I know all the purists are like, that's not even chocolate. I don't care. It's my favorite. And technically it's chocolate because it's the result of part of the chocolate process. So it's also why I still say that Pluto's a goddamn planet, okay? Don't take everything away from me. These Scorpios get shit on all the time. Holy crap! For a scraper so you don't cut yourself. Phil, thank you so much. I will, all right, next stream, we're gonna have a bench scraper. Thank you so, so much. I hope this isn't super loud. Please let me know. We had that problem last time and it screwed up the VOD afterwards. Oh, Ferrero Rocher are nice. Chocolate and peanut butter, yes. Okay, tell me that alert was not like ear crunching. I'm gonna wait to see. Because I can just turn off the audio on those. I don't want to, because I like having you guys, you know, get that recognition. Like the alert will still pop up, it just won't be with a lot of sound. Here. I'm digging this music. Okay. It was okay for me. Okay, good. Good. Maybe we have finally solved that problem. Yeah, generally I don't recommend lifting anything with a knife. I've done this for a while. It was about the same as the music. Great. Okay, good. Also, Melissa, let me know how the music level is now, if I need to adjust it. I love Gillian chocolate. Never had that. Where do you get that? Good. I think we finally solved the alert issue. Lots to do, Let me know about the pendant when you get a chance. Yes, Faulty, I am so sorry that it's been taking me a while. The PO box has taken a little bit of time to set up. I will get you that info very, very shortly. Okay. Actually, let me go ahead and wash the board off too. I don't think... No, we still need the board, that's right. We definitely still need the board. And our trusty knife. And that cannot have chocolate on it. Clean off the board. Sorry, a little impromptu dishwashing session. Come on, you're not that ingrained in this board. This is why I get plastic boards. Aw, there we go. Okay, we're gonna let that dry for a little bit. Have fun rest of the stream. Thank you, Queen Kai. What's up? Dishwashing, lovely. Yeah, it's the stuff we have to do, sadly. God, it's so good with the raspberries. Hold on. Easy, easy. Saved it. Okay, now we need the milk. Now, to this, we need to add about 3/4 cup of whole milk. I think it might just be a European chocolate, but it's like smooth praline chocolate. It can be white milk or dark chocolate, and they're in the shape of shells and seahorses. I want to say I've seen those before. What kind of chopping board do you use? I have a fancy wooden one. I have a wooden one that I actually burned the Cooking From Scratch logo into. I don't use it as much because as beautiful as wooden boards are and how nice they play with your knives, they are a bitch to keep clean. Like, you can never put in the dishwasher. You've always got to sanitize it. Whereas plastic boards, still nice on your knife, not as nice as wood, but you know, you can just dunk these in super hot water. They can go in the dishwasher. They're generally cheaper, so they tend to be my go-to. All right, so we need 3/4 cup of milk. There we go. Now, some recipes, they may have you melting this over a double boiler. They may have you trying to boil this on the stove. Pain in the ass way to do it. I'm gonna show you the easy way to do it. We're gonna combine both of these right now, and we're gonna introduce this to the microwave. In 30-second increments, we're gonna let this heat up, because surprisingly, while chocolate can be a son of a bitch everywhere else, it does pretty well in the microwave. So let's go heat this up, 30 seconds, pop it out, stir it, and then keep heating it for 30 seconds until it's all melted. Grab this. Put that away. Alma keeps getting after me for bringing home a piece of wood from work so we can make a nice cutting board. Oh, that would be awesome to see. You need an ice bucket for that wine. It's true. I really should just stick this back in the fridge. It's like, what, 4 feet from me? By the way, guys, thank you guys so much for the likes. They are super helpful. Alright. Now, even if it doesn't look like it's melted yet, give it some time, because there's still going to be heat in here. And slowly but surely, all the stuff is going to start melting. Starting to. This is going to need a couple more blitzes. Hold on. Get my handy dandy little spoon rest here. Pop this back in the microwave. Prosecco Brut. So basically, it's Italian's version of champagne. You just can't call it champagne because it doesn't come from the Champagne region of France, but it's so good and so much cheaper. Bill, when you get this piece of wood, film the making of that cutting board because that's going to be really cool. Actually, those kind of videos on YouTube are doing very well. Like woodworking and all that kind of stuff, people will sit there, and by people, I mean me, and just watch for hours. Even if we don't do any woodworking, it's just so fascinating to watch. Okay. She's starting to melt here. Maybe a couple more blitzes though. This is the best way to melt chocolate, especially in milk, because then you don't have to worry about the milk curdling, you don't have to worry about the chocolate seizing. It's just so much easier. Hey Nina, how'd your D&D go? This is all just excuses for me to keep drinking. How's the picture quality doing? Okay, still doing good. I'm waiting for my coworkers to take down an oak tree to get a nice piece. Nice. Ooh. So one downside of drinking is that my nose starts running. Yeah, that's attractive, right? When you're on a date, you have a couple glasses of wine and you're all night. Okay. Now, you may still see pieces of chocolate in here. I can tell just from the temperature of this, that's likely going to finish melting like either in this pass or the next one. Yeah, there we go. Now, let me make sure I get all this nice and smooth down. How is it on the bottom? This is feeling like it's a little too warm to pour. So we're gonna add in the vanilla and the sea salt, and we're gonna let this sit in the fridge for a bit to kind of collect itself before we introduce it to our little mini tarts, because we don't want this just soaking right through. My dates never stay that long. Generally mine don't either. Once we start to run out of conversation, that's when I pull the ripcord, because nothing is worse on a date than when you're sitting there and you cannot come up with anything to talk about. Or worse, the only thing you can think of to talk about is, oh, so what are you doing next Thanksgiving? And it's February. Yeah, this is starting to come together a little bit, but that's gonna need some time. Okay. So to this, we are going to add a little bit of vanilla. We don't need a lot, because remember, this is flavored chocolate. Shut up, phone. I love the smell of vanilla. Brand spanking new bottle, too. Now, this is super concentrated, so you don't need a lot. Just smidge. There we go. I have to be careful because sometimes I will go overboard on the vanilla. All right. Now, chocolate always needs a good pinch or two of salt. And that's it. Our filling is done. So we're gonna let this sit in the fridge and kind of contain itself until it starts to thicken up, and then we're going to introduce them to our molds. Let me make sure that salt is nice and dissolved. Yeah, that's good. Okay. In the fridge you go. Get in there. daunting. At the end of the day, it's just a rice dish. So you don't need a lot of skill. All you need is thyme. And not T-H-Y-M-E, although we are using that. Take this off. They spiraled into him asking me about my past relationships. Ooh, oh, no. You never want to open Pandora's box during a date. I mean, I'm kind of angry, so I left. First time I left before the date. I'm so sorry to hear that. It's tough because some people, like, they want to seem supportive, so they'll ask about that, but do you really want to crack that open in the middle of the date? Funny. Okay. So, first thing we need to take care of, and why is it this does take a little bit of time, we gotta deal with our mushrooms. So let me go ahead and get these suckers out. So for this recipe, you can really use any kind of mushrooms. I like using brown mushrooms, or what's known as crimini mushrooms, because I think you get the better flavor for this dish. But like I said, you can use any kind. Oyster mushrooms, white mushrooms, anything. Now, blind dates, they are the worst. It's, oh my god, I can't imagine how awkward that is. I mean, I've dated a couple people I've met online, so it's kind of like a blind date, because usually, here's the downside to meeting someone through a dating website. There's a time limit that you're up against. Once you start talking to someone, and if you don't meet them pretty soon, they move on. Because it's fair play to them. There are some people who all they ever want to do is just talk online, and I've had a couple of those. But when you rush into meeting them, you know maybe 5 things about each other. How the hell can anyone have a conversation with that little bit of information? You practically can't. So they turn into these awkward scenarios. Alright, so for this recipe, I'm just popping out the stems, because you don't want that piece. Now, if you're making some stuffed mushrooms, definitely keep these, because you can chop them up and put them in there. But on average, mushroom stems tend to be a little bit chewier, denser, tougher than the mushroom cap itself. So for this recipe, they gotta go. Or this guy pronounces mushrooms as mushrooms. Ha, that's cute. Oh, was it Minecraft you were doing? I thought it was D&D. Some of these don't want to pop. I'm trying to not wreck the mushroom cap as much as possible. Okay. Suckers. Now, just know, however much mushrooms you get, by the time you're done cooking them, you're gonna be left with half of this volume. So, this may look like a lot of mushrooms for 2 people. This is gonna cook down to like that much mushrooms. Okay. We're gonna toss this. Now here comes the tedious part. We gotta clean these suckers. Now, there's a whole lot of arguments since the beginning of time. The proper way to clean a mushroom. Some people still believe that you can rinse them and they'll be fine. Other people say no, the mushrooms take on too much water. The happy medium that I like, it takes a little bit of effort, but I think you get a better result. Well, let me put the smoke away. Take a paper towel with a little bit of texture to it. We're gonna fold her up. Who is the man on the floor? The man on the floor shall be played by Timmy. He's currently working on buffing out that gouge I left in my kitchen when I dropped one of my pans. Say hello, Timmy! He's happy to see you all. Okay. So we're gonna take our mushroom cap. We're gonna take our wetted paper towel and basically just run it over. We're not looking to scrub super hard because we will actually take the tops off these suckers. But there should be just enough texture on here, softened by the water, that we can clean these pretty effectively and leave our mushroom intact. You'll be amazed how much dirt is on your standard mushroom. Not pretty. But that's why this has to be done. The other benefit is you can just rinse that off and keep going. So not too much waste, which is nice. Now yes, I could have done this before we started the stream, but one, I didn't know if I was going to have enough time, because I went with my sister to a Harry Potter themed Survive the Room. It was a lot of fun. Sadly, we did not make leaderboard, which was a little bit of a bummer, but I'm finding I love escape rooms. They are so fun. Have you guys done those? Queen Guy says you're doing great, honey. You made his day. There we go. But it's also nice when your date comes walking in to watch you fastidiously clean mushrooms. They're like, oh, they're going through all that work for me. Yes, we are. I mean, we would have to anyways because you really need to for this dish. You don't want mushroom dirt in your risotto. Because not only will you taste it, it will change the color of your risotto. Okay. Harry Potter theme, sign me the fuck up. It was a lot of fun. Oh, I forgot one. Gotcha. Okay, we can go there. We'll grab ourselves another one. Where this really becomes tedious is when you're making beef Wellington, because that's a crap ton of mushrooms to clean. But yes, we will be making beef Wellington for our next New Year's stream. Here we go. Yeah, I love escape rooms. What's fun for me is that I think what helps me, I look at all the puzzles not from the viewpoint of the survivor, but from the viewpoint of the person making the room. Everything in the room has to have been put there on purpose. So when you look at it that way, you may start to notice certain things that may go outside everyone else's viewpoint because they're looking at it from, oh my god, I've got to get out of here, rather than someone took the time to put this vase here. It has an enormous hole in the side that a hole would never be in a vase. Maybe there's something in there. That has helped me a lot. Like, we were able to solve one of the puzzles before we even got the clue for it, because I looked at it and I'm like, one thing is one color, another thing is another color. These had to have been painted by somebody, meaning the color is significant. And that's how we solved one of the puzzles before we even got the clue. Not to brag. Is the camera shaking? I don't know why it does that. Harry Potter confession, I have posters of just Lucius Malfoy and Severus Snape, and has led to my actor crushes on Alan Rickman and Jason Isaac. Oof, I love Alan Rickman. He is a hottie. Here we go. Okay, we're nearly done with these. Which is good because my wine has gone unattended. Oh, I'm a big Harry Potter nerd. I have the shaking because there's no cats nearby and I have it weighed down. And Snape's and Harry's lawns. Nice. Okay, nearly done. It was also really cool because the place that had the escape the room right next to it is in axe throwing place, which if you guys have never done that, holy hell, it's fun. It is a great way to take out some aggressions after work, I'll tell you what. Nice. Okay, that's done. Let me clean my hands real fast. Let's check that ganache and see how that is setting. Because I don't want it to completely freeze up because I'm going to reheat it all over again. Go. Alright, ganache, how you doing? A little better. Still warm. Okay. Now that you have your mushrooms clean, now we gotta cut these bad boys up. So I'm gonna take these and cut them in half. Move them over. Hey Andrew, what's up, dude? Happy early Valentine's Day. By the way, if there's anyone lurking I haven't said hi to, welcome to the stream. My name is Melissa, aka Cocktails and Consoles, and every weekend we do a live cooking stream. I'm figuring out if Saturdays or Sundays are better, so if you guys have a preference, let me know. But every weekend, unless I'm ill or traveling, we will be cooking something new together. Ingredients are always in the thumbnail, so you guys will have that as early as possible so you guys can cook along with me. If you're enjoying the content, we also do a gaming stream on Friday nights, we do a multiplayer stream on Monday nights, and we have new cocktail and cooking videos every Wednesday. So if you'd like to get those in your subscription playlist, you want to hit the subscribe button down below, that'd be great. And if you're enjoying the stream and want to give us a little bit of help, you want to hit that thumbs up button, that'd be awesome. Okay. I've yet to meet a fellow Gryffindor. Oh, Slytherin all the way, baby. Sorry. Yeah, I saw that before, Anita. Okay. So now we're gonna cut these a little bit on the big side because, like I said, they are going to shrink. Oh, thank you, Queen Kai. Okay. So these are a little on the big side, but like I said, they're going to shrink down. Go. some of these bigger ones, I'm not sure I'd cut this in thirds, because she's a little big. Or fourths, I should say. Thank you, Andrew. What are you up to, Andrew? What are you guys doing for Valentine's Day? I want chocolate. Hey Zoe! The chocolate is currently setting up in the fridge. It's still a little watery right now. So before I pour them into our tart molds, I want to make sure it doesn't leak everywhere. Zoe, what are you up to and what are you and Ken doing for Valentine's Day? Mushrooms. There we go. I'm gonna have to park these somewhere because we've got some onions and garlic to cut up here. Well, not so much cut up, grate. What happened to us? All right, there we go. Back, I have pizza and I'm so happy. What kind of pizza? Staying home every day is Valentine's Day. I got my Dutch oven, so I'm happy. Nice! What are you cooking? Not sure yet, I might be working, we'll see, but we did record. My god, these earphones suck ass. We did record a Valentine's Day where me and Guy do a Valentine's Day themed Minecraft dropper level. That's cool! You're flying up to see him in a month? Nice. Give him a big old hug for me. Meat lovers, yes. Okay, I need to get new headphones. These are terrible. Of course, you think I'd know that these are terrible headphones because they were only like 15 bucks. Now I know why. Okay. Finish chopping these suckers up. Officer Dan, what's up, dude? How are you doing? What are you cooking today? And when are you streaming next? And there we go. When we can't find our way, I don't wanna be alone. So what do we do when we're lost and depraved? Yeah, I need to get myself a new pair of headphones. Y'all having someone to do something special and I am back up. Friends whose partner has to work. I'm just hanging by myself. That's my Valentine's Day. Like I said, it's all about how you treat yourself on Valentine's Day. Don't leave your happiness up to someone else. Make sure you have plans for you on Valentine's Day. If they want to do something, that's great. Figure out time for it. But you have plans no matter what. Okay. That is good to go. Let me get some of the bigger pieces out of the way. And rehydrate. I have a couple of sirloin steaks, but I was thinking I might do those tomorrow. That sounds good. Do you marinate them or do a dry rub? Okay, so now that we have our mushrooms done, the next thing we have to get sorted is our garlic and our onions. So I'm gonna take my garlic bulb, pop off a few cloves. And since this is just for me, I'm gonna pop off a few more cloves because I friggin' love garlic. Come here, you. 2, 3, 4, and when we keep Dracula away. There we go. I'm Italian, you can never have too much garlic. Friggin' love garlic too, that's right. Garlic is the best. Okay, so handy dandy trick to peeling garlic is don't. Put your garlic on the board, take your knife or something heavy, sit it on top, put your hand on top, and press down. Now if you're gonna hit your hand on it, I wouldn't recommend doing this with a knife, but I don't have anything heavy, so we're doing it this way. Garlic equals awesome. Hell yes! A roast sirloin with rosemary. Yum! That may not have done anything. Whoopsie! That one did. That kind of did. Okay, so smacking it with a heavy object, or you can just take like a can of tomatoes and just press down on that, will help the paper to pop open and make this a lot easier to peel. Garlic bread is the best! Come on. Hit that like button like she hits that garlic, people. Aww! Thank you. I like that. That is cool. There we go. So, hitting that garlic like you hit the like button, there's a couple things for us. One, it makes it a lot easier to be able to get them out of all the paper. 2, it's going to make it easier to mince, which is what we need to do with this. We want this garlic to basically disappear in this risotto. That is so awesome, Officer Dan. Now this one's been giving me problems. Let's see if we can... There we go. Okay, she just needs a little bit of help. Use my old tea can as a garlic shaker. Ah, that works! I have not tried that trick of putting garlic into a mason jar and just shaking it to see if it'll pop out. If you have done that trick, let me know how well it works, because I'm very curious. Alright, clean the paper off my fingers. Have a nice sip. Have some frozen garlic cheese, Texas toast, and cranberries. Texas toast for making sandwiches. Yum! That is a great idea. Okay. So now we take the bottoms off of this garlic, because we don't want that. Because that will not break down. If anyone has any good recommendations for earphones that aren't too expensive, love some. Like Texas toast, but it seems too tall for a sandwich bread for me. I can see that. Oh, music. Yes, music is. Yay! Goody, 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 goody. Okay. Now we, first of all, take this boo-boo off, because we don't want that. And we start cutting this up super, super fine. I'm actually gonna press it down a little bit more. And run it through. I'm gonna just get all of this started and then come back and do my favorite way of chopping. Yeah, cheesy garlic bread. Oh, so, so, so good. Oh, it already smells so wonderful in here. All the garlic. Easy now. There we go. Skull candy is good. Do they do wireless? Because if they do, I'll have to look into that. I normally like using them for my non-wireless stuff. Also, what's their charge time? Well, not charge time, but I mean, on a charge, how many hours of play do you get? There we go. Okay. Gather this all together, and then we're gonna put our knife down on the board, put our hand on top, just move this back and forth. Wireless and they are good. Oh, cool. I saw someone got sponsored and they were showing off the earphones. They get like 7 hours of use on a charge. They were like $70. Which is nice and all, but a little rich for my blood. That's pretty good. We don't have to go super, super fine with this. Alright, get a bowl to put that in. 13 to 16 hours on a charge? Wow! Oh, an audio jack using this wire. That's nice. It stopped working with use charge. That sucks. Yeah, I've used these like 3 times and they just suck. Oh, don't apologize, Amma. You never have to apologize for that. How are you doing? And happy early Valentine's Day. Okay. And thank you again, Bill, for the money for a bench scraper. You are very, very kind. There's a lot of garlic. Ha! Wow, this is going to be super garlicky. Feel free to not use this much if it's not to your taste. I'm just feeling garlic. I don't know what to tell you. There we go. Okay. That should be all the chopping we need to do. We have one more item to deal with, but that we do not need to stop. You go check on our chocolate. Hi, baby. What's up? No, I'm streaming. Go on. I know, I know. Wine, wine. Your life is so hard. My God, there we go. Okay. Stop. You know everyone's watching. That's why you're doing this. He says hi. He's currently standing on the man on the floor. Okay. That is pretty good. Let's give her a taste test here. Oh, that's really good. All right. Before we get into the onion, bring on the tears. Let's get our chocolate tart taken care of. Now, you can make these from scratch. I find it to be a pain in the ass, so luckily, most Safeways you go to have ready-made tart cups, or they call them dessert cups. This is what we're going to use. Because this chocolate is going to set up like a ganache, I'd rather at least have the shells be nice and soft. You're not like chomping into this tart. Not Timmy, I know! Some good chocolate. Hell yeah! Okay. We're gonna start filling these suckers. See if I can get this on camera. I'll have fun, Queen Kai! Oh, this is Don't worry if you're seeing like chunks in it. That's not chocolate, that's candied orange peel. Which thankfully we didn't have to make. Now if you want to go like super fancy, you can always throw a little bit of whiskey or rum into this. Not too much because it will disrupt how this chocolate sets. But it will add to the flavor. This is always how it is with me when it comes to desserts. I'm so not a baking person. My mom is. I never got that trait. I got the cooking trait. I like making the fillings because the fillings you can play with a little bit. You really can't do that with breads and baked goods because you're putting things together not only for taste but for structure, so you don't get a lot of I made it. Well, that is life. Okay. We're gonna take our lovely little tarts, naughty girls that they are, stick these back in the fridge for an hour or so. Okay, more wine. Music got loud, damn it. Hold on. Why is it? That's weird. Oh, I got loud? Sorry. Okay, let me know how that balances. Why did the music crank out of nowhere? God damn it, this is gonna throw off the video again. I'm sorry about that, guys. I don't know what's going on. Ugh. It's probably that last song. You know what? That last song is never again. Goodbye, song. Music's still loud? What the hell? Why can I not get decent audio? Hold on. That is bizarre. Like, it's not even showing up on desktop audio. I don't know where it's coming from. Oh, probably because I turned it, like, off. Okay, let me know how that goes. God damn it, it's going to do it again. Ooh, I should probably move that out of the way of the camera. Okay, I'm going to wait a second just to make sure that we are good now on audio. Yes, no, maybe so. Keep forgetting there's a lag. All right, where's my knife? Here's my knife. Okay. Now I did say that you needed a cipollini onion for this. If your local grocery store doesn't have them, just a regular yellow onion will be fine. It's good now. Okay, good. I will look into that. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so let's get rid of all the paper. I wonder if I go back to the parts where the music like jumps, if I remove that from the video, if it will normalize the rest of the music. Yeah, I just didn't have a glass measuring cup. What are you doing, you nut job? What are you chasing? Oh, there's a spark of light. She's just going after her like there's no tomorrow. It's not an intruder. Like, you wouldn't do anything with it if it was. Okay. Now you could sit here and just chop and chop and chop. That's a pain in the ass. So what we're going to do, we're going to grate instead. But I can hear you. Yeah, I think I just turned the music just off. Because I don't know what's going on. Okay, actually, you know what? I think I can just grate straight into this bowl. Save myself a step of cleaning. This is my cheat way of doing onions. It just makes cutting onions so much easier. Because then you don't have to. Just watch your fingers, though. Because the grater knows no difference between onion and finger. It has one job to do, and goddamn if it ain't gonna do it. What are you chasing? That's so weird. Okay. Thank you. I think this is from OXO. Actually, most of the stuff I get from my kitchen is from OXO. You'd think they would have sponsored. Mel's full of scales. That would be fun. Oh, God. I did not freeze the onion. No, because I just got it right before the stream started. It is a good tip, though. You can freeze an onion. It basically... Oh, there goes... Why did I wear eye makeup? It makes it so it's harder for the compounds that make your eyes well up to reach your eyes because they're frozen. Jesus. Little tip, ladies, if you are making risotto, do your eye makeup after you grate the onion, because this thing's gonna need like 40 minutes to cook anyways. That reminds me, we did an ASMR cooking video. That was a fun one to do. It's still on the old channel. Ugh. Ow! God damn it! I was about to say, what'd I ever do to you, Onion? And then I looked down and realized, oh, I'm shredding his body. So... fair play to the onion. Oh, Oh, Jesus. Yeah, this one's really acting up. Okay. You know what? Ah, that's enough onion. We're good, onion. You may leave. Oh, you win this battle. Whew, okay. Ow. Oh my god. This onion was a hell of a contender. Oh. Jesus. She's crying, someone tell a joke. So I love my mini food processor. That's on my list of things to get. I just went a little broke setting up the house. So, son of a bitch. It's gonna take me a little while. Thank God I don't have mascara on. Oh, that would just be awful. Okay. Well, let's take your remains. And you may leave the staging area. Whew, okay. I don't know if it's just me, my eyes tear up worse when cooking them. I don't know. I think for me, it's just the cutting that gets me. I'm having sympathy tears. I remember having to cut 90 pounds of onions at a restaurant. Oh, that's just mean. Why would someone do that to you? I know, right? Don't step on Timmy. She doesn't care about Timmy at all. Okay. So we're going to take our cutting board and move it over. Oh, Jesus. Now, let's roll the dice on a new cooking top. First off, I need to go plug her in, away from everything else. Come on, come on. There you go. Second, we need to pop up our little camera here in the jankiest way possible. Okay. I'm going to move that. Fresh and grilled onions for burgers. We went through a lot of onions. I can imagine. Okay. Oh, man, my eyes. Let me get some stuff out of the way. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to get our mushrooms taken care of. Okay. Now, let me check my camera. Not you. You failed me for the last time. There we go. Hey, look! Now we can actually see into this. I wonder if I turn it down, angle a little bit down. Anything down? Hold on. Ooh, no. Easy. Easy, girl. Easy. There we go. Let's get you a little bit closer. Okay. Pretty stable so far. Let's get the butter. And I don't know if I put it on our list or not. We also need, there she is, balsamic vinegar. I don't know if balsamic vinegar is a she, or however balsamic vinegar likes to identify, but welcome to the party, balsamic vinegar. I have been accused many times of using far too much balsamic vinegar in everything that I make, so I'm trying to cut down on that. It's very difficult. Pre-made pepper jack and bacon burgers. Ooh, yum. That sounds good. Okay, there we go. So let me see if I can do this and not set the house on fire. Here we go. Grab a butter knife. I like to cook my mushrooms in a crap ton of butter. So, boom. Turn you on. Heating at a 5. I think that should be good. I don't know relatively what that is or is not, but we're about to find out. Grab this from our chocolate and clean it off. We need you. There's no such thing as too much balsamic vinegar. Alma, I knew I liked you. I mean, hands down, it is my most favorite kind of vinegar. Hey, butter is melting. Okay, progress is being made. I'm in the middle of doing. This is why no professional chefs deal with cats. My manager thought it would be hilarious. She legit bought me a full face scuba mask. That's funny. That is really funny. Okay. How's the heating on this? Is it just coming out of the middle again? Because that was annoying. Yeah, not too bad. But yes, it's still coming out of the damn middle. Alright. Okay, now that my eyes have stopped napalming, we're gonna grab our shrooms and add them to the pan. Now, any French chef will tell you not to crowd the pan. I don't have time. So you know what, we're just gonna cook these down. And if a French chef wants to get snitty about it, well then he or she can come over here and cook this his damn self. We have shit to do. Oh, it smells so good, just even with the butter. Now you may find, shut up phone, you may find that you need to add a fair amount of butter because your mushrooms are gonna legit drink it up. I'm hungry now, I know, right? Yum. I'm getting hungry, and I had lunch. Okay, so to help our little jewels along, we need to get the water out of these. The best way to do that is heat, oil, and salt. I'm going to give this a fair amount of salt. And pepper. Oh, it smells so good in here. We're not going to introduce the balsamic vinegar yet. We're going to do that right at the end. And wonder why we have garlic on our arms. That's bizarre. Yes. How's this looking in the... Oh my god, you guys can actually see what's cooking in the pan! Hallelujah. This is what I've been wanting. I want to be able to cook where you guys can see I don't have to turn away from the camera. It's finally happening. I shouldn't be moving these too much, but I do want to make sure that each piece has a good amount of butter on it, so that way it can get to browning properly and not stick. Alright, now we gotta let these be alone for a bit. Whilst I refill my gas. I've actually had balsamic reduction ice cream. I have been trying to find a place that does it. I'm thinking I'm probably just gonna have to friggin' make it. But that would be a fun stream. Oh, it smells so good. Oh, it smells really good. And normally I'm not even a big mushroom fan. I absolutely love it in this because it doesn't taste like 100% mushroom. Like the mushroom can be the star, but it's not the star, the backup singer, the cast, the stage crew. You know, it's part of a greater whole. Giggity. So you can appreciate it and then it goes away. tasting a thick balsamic vinegar reduction swirled into vanilla ice cream. Oh my god, yum. Oh, speaking of next streams, what do you guys think for ideas for the next stream? I was thinking of maybe we make dim sum. Not completely from scratch, but like make the fillings from scratch. We'd have to use the, not the paper, but the, what do they call those? It's a type of pasta that they use. But if you guys have any other ideas, let me know, because I haven't really thought that through. So my sister wanted to make, what was it? Black sesame mochi, which sounded like a really cool idea. Oh yeah, this is looking good. Oh, and smelling good too. Alright, now, got a little bit more room in the pan, so I'm going to let this go for about another minute or two. Then we're going to add in the balsamic vinegar and get all of these out of the pan. Because then we got to add in our garlic and our onions, and then the rice. You thinking dim sum too, Melissa? Okay, cool. I do love a good salmon. Any dishes you can think of. My favorite recipe for salmon actually comes from Alton Brown. He kind of like, it sounds weird, but he kind of candies the top of the salmon. So it's a mixture of chili powder, brown sugar, a little bit of cayenne, and salt and pepper. And you put that all over the salmon, and you let it sit out for about like 30 minutes or so, so it starts to cure the top, and then you bake it. It's incredible. Oh, and grated lime zest. Yes, we will be making some shrimp shumai. Shut up, phone. Okay. Oh, that smells nice. Now, dun 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 dun, balsamic vinegar. Now, since we cooked out a lot of the liquid, the nice thing about that is that the mushrooms aren't going to be soaking up a bunch of this. So we don't have to worry about it kind of taking over the flavor of the mushrooms. But we do want a little bit of that tang because this sucker's going to be rich. Also, we don't want to introduce it too early because if balsamic vinegar gets super hot, it takes on a very char flavor that's just not good eats. Nari knows I'm sick. She's cuddled up on my chest purring, but it's making it difficult to hear you. Ha ha. Oh, that's funny. You know, I wonder if we could make a salmon kind of a shumai. Let me look into that. That could be really good. Oh, God. Smells so good. Okay. We need to evacuate them. We're going to be reintroducing them later. But first, we need to get some color on this rice. So I am going to drop down the temperature here a little bit, because I need to wipe out this bowl. Sorry to hear that you're getting sick. Is it the post-January flu that tends to go around? It's so weird. Like, I never get sick in November or December. Well, no, that's not true. Normally I get horrendously ill on my birthday, but thankfully that has stopped being a case. Oh, that used to be so bad. But like January, I get horrifically ill. It's just a flu, but you know, it just knocks you on your ass and it sucks. Come on. That's pretty good. Okay. Now we grab a bunch of paper towels. tongs at some point. There we go. And we're gonna clean out this bowl. So we don't want, ouch, any burning going on. Please be careful doing this. Normally I do this with tongs, but I don't know where my tongs are. Here we go. And stick you over here. Okay. Now we're gonna take the last bit of our butter, stick you in, because you never want to have an empty pan. Always a bad thing. Never have an empty pan. Bill got me sick. It's a cold, but mine always turns into, oh, sinus infections are the worst. I am so sorry to hear that. Okay, we're gonna let this, we're gonna clean this off. There we go. We're gonna let this butter go for a minute. Now, technically what we did with the mushrooms was a saute. What we want to do with the onion and garlics is what we call sweat. How is sweat different from a saute? Saute is normally done over medium or medium-high heat, where the goal is to get browning on whatever you're cooking. So we wanted browning on our mushrooms. Sweating is cooking under low to medium-low heat, and the whole purpose of this is breaking down the food, but not getting any color on it. And you're probably wondering, like, well, why don't you want color on the onions and the garlic? A couple of reasons. One, you don't want color on those because it firms up the sides, and we want this garlic and this onion to kind of disappear into the risotto, and it can't do that if we've crisped up the sides. The other piece to this is that garlic is really finicky when you try to give it color. It likes gold, it kind of likes brown. Anything after brown, it is the worst thing you've ever eaten in your life. So, you want to be a little bit careful with that. So let's introduce our garlic and our onions. And before we salt and pepper, this is actually still a little too high. Let's turn that down a bit. You just want to hear a little bit of crackling, not a lot. Right now I'm hearing a lot. And this may seem like a lot of butter. The butter isn't just for the garlic and the onions. It's going to be for the rice. There we go. Just a little bit of popping. But I always recommend don't add the salt and pepper until everything is nice and coated in the oil. Otherwise, salt and pepper really have nothing to stick to. Let's put in some salt and a little bit of pepper. Now, while this is breaking down, we need to get another pot ready behind us with our chicken stock and our white wine. There we go. So behind us, we're going to do a mixture of half chicken stock, half white wine. Where's my white wine? That's my drinking white wine. That's for me white wine. Here we go. I'm going to pop one open. So for this dish, you can really use any kind of white wine. If you get a nice fruity, minerally Chardonnay, that's always a good one to use. Oh, I like this thing, but it makes getting the cork out such a bitch. Easy, girl. Come on. Swear to God. There we go. Take our Chardonnay, crack this sucker open. I know, I'm so bad with removing the corks. It's bad. By the way, you guys, thank you so much for all the likes. I really appreciate it. Okay, come on. Okay. So take this, and we will take chicken stock. into a pan behind us and put it on medium heat. It doesn't need to be boiling, it just needs to be hot. For this application, it's advisable to use a little bit more than you think you're going to need, because sometimes the rice wants less liquid, sometimes it wants more. It can be a little bit finicky. Okay. That is looking pretty good. So now let's talk rice. So for this application, unfortunately not any rice can do. You do need what's called arborrio rice, which is essentially any very, 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 very tiny grain rice, because the way we get this dish thick is that these things need to rub together to release the starch. So I'm going to put in about a good half a cup into here, because we're going to want to get a little bit of color on this rice. Probably a little bit more than half a cup, but you know what? It's Valentine's Day. Let's have some leftovers. Now, this may look tiny in terms of rice, but this stuff will grow to at least 2 times its size. So keep that in mind when you're adding rice to this. There we go. Maybe a touch more. Touch more after that. Okay. Now let's get this nice and coated with butter. There we go. Yeah. It's already smelling so good. We'll raise the heat just a smidge. Let this cook. While that's cooking, I'm going to clean up a little bit, because, oh, wow, I made a mess. Very good point. Alma is right. Arborio rice is Italian short grain rice. It's named after the town of Arborrio in the Po Valley, which is situated in the main growing region of Durand. That's true. Now, a lot of different regions have their own kinds of short grain rice. Spain is also well known for having their own version, because that is the rice that they use when they make paella. Unlike other types of rice, the grains elongate much more than they plump as they cook. Lower in starch and other long grain types of basmati grains turn out fluffy and separate. That's also very true. It's, how do they explain it? Amylose and, was it milopectin? 2 different types of starches in rice. And one makes rice nice and fluffy and separate, and the other makes rice nice and short, flat, fat, plump, and perfect for paella and risotto. Okay, so we're going to want to cook this rice just till the outer of it gets a little bit translucent. Amylopectin, that's it. Amylose and amylopectin. And I forget which one gives you the long grain separated ones and which ones don't. Very good rice is great for rice pudding. Okay. Let's let that get a little bit warmer. There we go. Oh, smelling good, smelling good. So, I mean, so far, pretty easy, right, guys? It's just a little bit of prep that takes the time. Let's put our balsamic back up there. Let's see. We probably put our raspberries back in the fridge until we're ready to dress those tarts, which are coming along nicely, I see. Wow, I think they're actually set. Ah! We may even have our tarts ready by the time this is done. That's fantastic. Okay, now we're starting to get a little bit of char. Not exactly a bad thing, but we're going to want to freeze that right there. So now, that's going to be way too big, and it's filled with milk. That's not going to work. To this, we're going to want to gradually add a little bit of liquid at a time. You don't want to pour the whole thing in there because we're starting this process off pretty slowly. There we go. Down here. So you want to add a little bit of liquid and give it a stir. God, I have not had a good rice pudding in so long. How's that looking in the camera? Oh, looking good. It's kind of a bummer I don't have a good light over this for you guys to really see it. Now, we're not going to continue to add any kind of salt to this because this is going to condense. Even though it's growing, the flavor is condensing because we're cooking a lot of the water out. So if we add a bunch of salt now, it's going to be way too salty after. So we're going to let this go with the salt that's already in the mushrooms and that we already put in the onions. And then we're going to taste it once it's almost done and adjust the seasoning then. And then as the bottom of the pan starts to look a little bit dry, add more liquid. You want to do all of this over about a medium, a little bit towards medium-high heat. You don't want a full-on rolling boil because you don't want to damage those starches, but you do at least need a little bit of a boil. Now I'm going to get this started a little bit, then we're going to add the mushrooms back in. By the way, if you are new to the stream, welcome. My name is Melissa, aka Cocktails and Consoles, where we cook live every weekend. Not quite sure if it's going to be Saturdays or Sundays. I'm still trying to figure out the schedule. So if you have a day that you prefer, let me know. We do take requests on what to make for the different streams in our Discord, where next week I think we'll be making some dim sum. So for you guys who are big pot sticker fans, you like to get the notification for that when it goes live, you want to hit the subscribe button down below. God damn it, Onion, you're making my nose run. Hit that subscribe button. And if you're enjoying the content, let me know by hitting that thumbs up button. Ah, okay. Sorry about that. We just got done cutting onions. Okay. So I think we're at a good enough point we can add our mushrooms and the sauce back in. With all of those juices. Give this a stir. Now essentially all we have to do now is just keep adding liquid until the rice is cooked, which should take about 30 minutes once you start adding liquids. So like I said, it's not a difficult dish at all. Most of the effort is really just in the prep. Okay, this needs to come up a little bit more. We gotta bring some of that heat back. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, it looks like this cooktop's not doing a bad job. It sucks it only has that little circle that you can cook in. But I mean, I guess you can work around it. What do you guys think? Oh, that is good. Okay. So when you add liquid, you just want to add enough to just cover the rice. So that way the rice has enough liquid to, again, give up its starch. Is that an induction or a heat plate? This is an induction burner. So you can only use cast iron or stainless steel. If it's not, if a magnet won't stick to it, you can't use it. Which sucks because I tend to cook a lot with ceramic. But if I can do this, it's perfect. This is what I wanted. To not have to constantly keep turning my back to you guys. Oh, it smells so good. I got a little antsy about doing a heat plate, especially the ones that require that side burner, because this is the first time I've ever lived in a house that is all gas. And as lovely as that is, and I know like most chefs just love cooking with gas, it makes me nervous because gas explodes. I cook mostly with cast iron. I love cast iron. I just hate the limitation that like you can almost never clean it. I still do because ew. I mean, no hate to anyone who doesn't clean their cast iron. I get why you don't, but I just don't like the idea of former food still being on there. So generally what I do with my cast iron is I will clean quickly with soap and water, gentle soap, and then I will re-season the pan. So put a little bit of oil in there, mop it to where you don't get any oil coming off, and stick it in the oven while it cools down. That's why I love this, because this is cast iron, but it's cast iron that's been glazed with ceramic, so that way it's easier to clean. It's not like completely clean, but you don't have to have the same worries like when you're cleaning cast iron. You got a copper pan set for free, you lucky duck. I am so jealous. Okay, we need a little bit more. Here you. Always want to keep the rice just covered. And then you stop adding liquid once the rice is cooked through. Like, this dish could not be easier. It's so simple. Oh, thank you, Andrew. Okay, let's top off our drink. So I hope some of these tips and tricks have been useful for you guys. Again, if you guys have tips and tricks, let me know in chat. It's like the knife, I'm beta testing kitchen products, and you get to keep them. You lucky duck! Oh, is that a service you can go through, or did they contact you? Because God, I would love to do that. That was originally part of my hope in starting cooking from scratch, is that maybe some of these companies would reach out to me and be like, hey, can you use this on your show? You know, even if you just test it out, let us know. I had one knife company reach out to me, but then they just went dark on me which sucked because I really wanted the knives. And the law still holds true. I will never, ever promote a product on this channel that I do not personally love. And if I have been given it for free, or if they're paying me to do the video, you guys will know. Because I hate it when YouTubers skirt around that. They're like, oh, this product's so amazing. They never bought it. They don't use it. It's not amazing to them, but if you buy it through them, then they make money. That's not everyone, but that is some, and it does happen a lot more times than you think. Oh, you were contacted. Nice. That's really cool. Okay. So about halfway through is the point that I like to start adding thyme to the mix. And I know the rule is whenever you're cooking with herbs, if you're cooking with dried, add them at the beginning. If you're cooking with fresh, add them at the end because they can turn a little bit brown on you. I know, but I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of brown leaves for the built-in flavor. Yeah, how did that knife turn out? What did you think about it? And by the way, I mean, if these companies are reaching out to you to test products, you really should do some videos. Not only would it be so much fun to watch you, Amma, but that tends to be how more sponsors will reach out. And you can also make a little bit of money if they're products that you like. Oh, and by the way, Bill said that you've been bugging him to bring home a piece of wood to make a cutting board. That's awesome. Okay, I don't know how much of this is showing up on camera, but if you can kind of see that the bubbles are starting to build on each other, that means this liquid is getting thicker. That's all due to the rice. The starches from the rice, because they're rubbing up against each other, is injecting itself into the liquid, which thickens the sauce. I mean, it also helps that we have this on like medium towards medium high, so we are cooking a lot of the water out of the mix, but they both work together. So far the knife is great. There was a tiny rust spot that I contacted them with. I buffed it out. How do you buff that out? I've always wondered. I have a rust spot on one of my steak knives, but they're cheap steak knives, so I'm not surprised that I have rust spot. Plus I throw those in the dishwasher because I just don't care about them. If I had a decent set of steak knives, I would never introduce them to a dishwasher, but these were cheap. I got them at Target, so they can go in the damn dishwasher. Now my chef's knife will never go near the dishwasher. That I'm rather particular about. I'm not sponsored, I just test their items. Even still. Oh, you can smell that thyme. It smells so good. Alright, a little bit more. Now this is going to make more than just for two because I threw in a bunch. So just so you're looking at this going, oh my god, my date's going to be dead from shoving so much food in their mouth. No, I just threw in extra. Green scrubby and a whole lot of elbow grease. Nice. Also for flavor, you can add the whole sprig. Then for the green, you can add the leaves at the end. That's true. That's very true. I have a hard time fishing these out, so that's why I just strip them for the leaves. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ha! Bill. Love it. Okay, let's see how this rice is doing. Make sure we don't have any hot spots. So if you do get an induction burner like this, be careful, or at least this one. And this was the case with the other one too. There is a dedicated hotspot in here, which means whatever's sitting right over it, it's going to get a little done faster than everything else in the pan, which is generally what I friggin' hate. But again, it allows me to stand in front and cook without having to constantly turn my back to you. That's true. You can put kitchen string on the strings. What's that term? Oh, I keep forgetting all the French terms. You guys may know it. So, like when you're making stock or you're making soup, where you take a whole bunch of herbs and you tie them together. There's a French term for that. So you stick them in the pot. That way you can fish it out later. And I can never remember it. Another way to do that I've heard is use leeks and wrap them in leek, so that way the flavor can come through. Or you can use a tea ball, not tea bag, and put your herbs in there. Basically, it just allows the water to go through the herbs and pick up the flavor without you having to fish rosemary sprigs out of your dish later. Fuck, what do they call that? Bouquet garni! Thank you, Amma. For the record, for anyone who's new here, I did not go to culinary school. I've learned all this from Food Network, YouTube, and Googling shit. So, I know none of the terms. Alright, let's see how this is coming along. It's still a little too much sauce for my taste, so if the rice is near done, I'm going to want to let this run for a bit. No. It's got a little ways to go. Mama beat me to it. It's got good tang. Now, it may taste a little tangier at this point, depending on what wine you used. Oh, my nose. Don't worry about that, because we're about to put a whole crap load of grated parmesan in here, which will counter that tanginess. Oh, I'm so excited our chocolate tarts are going to be done in time. Yay! I can actually make the thumbnail. I've been holding off on replacing the ingredients thumbnail with the picture itself. One, because the first picture just did not come out good. And two, because the audio is now screwed on those first two, and I'm afraid it's going to be screwed again because of that damn song. So I don't want people to get all excited because they're like, oh, cool, you know, I want to watch this video. And then they find that they can't turn their speakers up loud enough to even hear. So it is what it is. My grandmother and my mother were both chefs. That's how Bill and I learned. Our 10th birthday gift from our mom was a whole pan set. We were odd children. That's awesome. That is so cool. Oh, that must have been so fun growing up. What was your mom's most favorite dish to cook? Actually, it's a good question for all you guys in chat. What is your most favorite dish to cook? Or that you've had made for you? Odd child. Me. Same. To me, there is no such thing as normal. If someone seems really normal, that's a warning sign. Stream's current bitrate is higher than the recommended bitrate. Oh, that's weird. I capped it at 5,000. Apparently it wants to give me more. Thank you. Okay. Like in a restaurant or at home. Either or both. Smells good. Or liquid. Okay. It's champagne time. a little bit more. Ah, god damn it, vanilla. I think that garlic is done. Oh, the cleanup on this wasn't that bad. That's good. Fresh bread. Yes, we need to start making bread on this channel. Oh, I've always wanted to learn. You know what? There's an idea we can do. Okay, so after dim sum, we're gonna make bread. But I'm gonna have you guys send me your recipes, and I'm gonna try making them first time ever on the stream. Because I've never made bread. Like, ever. So if you'd like to submit your recipes for that, the link to our Discord is down below. Personally, I like a grilled steak with Creole butter shrimp and mushrooms on the top. Yum! Now, Amma, are you a fan of button, like white mushrooms, crimini mushrooms, oyster, shiitake? Like, what's your go-to when it comes to mushrooms? Alright. Normally you wouldn't use the same fork for this, but I'm just eating by myself, so fuck it. Still got a ways. Still needs more time. Oh, Melissa, so when you make bread, do you like making sourdough? Do you like making like French baguettes? What's your go-to? Do you like to make it fancy with, you know, the cuts on the top and sprinkle a little bit of flour around? Which always looks so damn pretty. Like, almost too pretty to eat. Still gonna eat it, but almost too pretty to eat. Portobello mushrooms for convenience because they're readily available, but shiitake for flavor. Yeah, you know, a lot of people really seem to love shiitake mushrooms. I don't think I've had enough of them to develop an opinion, but I know they're pretty popular. Oh, Amma makes fresh sourdough. Yum. Do you make your own starter, or do you use a pre-made one? I think you might have mentioned before that you make your own starter, but I can't quite remember. Rustic white bread. I use my granny's recipe. That's awesome. Does that make for really good French toast when it starts to stale a bit? I cheat. I make dough and let it ferment. Oh, okay, that was you who told me you make your own starter. Yeah, I think Alton Brown just did a video, not recently, I think from a little while ago, where he showed how to make a starter from just letting flour and water just sit out. Well, flour, water, and yeast. And I was amazed, like, oh my gosh, it's really that simple? It seems so daunting. Not to downplay what you do, it always sounds like, oh my god, you know, you're gonna make a starter, you need like specific chemicals, and you have to control the environment, and like all the things. Yeah, I gotta be careful, there's a hot spot on here. Generally speaking, when you make risotto, you're going to want to keep it moving because it's the friction of the rice together that's going to make this nice and thick. So you don't have to like constantly stir, but you do want to stir at least like once every 2 minutes or so. And I have not been because I've been having fun talking. Flour, water, and yeast is all you need. Okay. And that's what gives it the sourness, is the fermentation? Just keep adding liquid until that rice is done. Let's see, we're about 3/4 of the way there. Ooh, pretzel bread sounds good. Pretzel bread sounds really good. I'm being fancy and making a starter. Flour and water in a mason jar on the counter. Take a bit out and add more flour and water over the couple days, and the natural yeast ferments it. Oh, okay. So you don't have to leave it out. You can put it in a mason jar then. That's good to know. Let's test this. God damn, that's good. Actually does not need a lot more salt, which is nice. It's very rare that I managed to hit that one. I'd say we're about 5 minutes out. I'm adding a little bit fresh at the end. With a loose lid so the CO2 and fermentation doesn't cause it to explode. Oh yeah, that's right. You need to have some way for the CO2 to get out. I remember. Don't they have that with what is it? The coffee bags. Like when you get your beans, they have that little valve on the front that's supposed to let CO2 out but doesn't let air in. I wonder if they have something like that but in jar form for sourdough. That'd be kind of fun. Because my dad loves making bread. Unfortunately, he's diabetic, so he doesn't get to eat it. But he's wanting to get back into making bread, even if he can't, really enjoy it. I told him, I would love to make bread with you. Because that would just be so fun. This induction burner, with the exception of the fact that all that heat gets concentrated in the center, not bad for $50. Do I wish it would space it out a little bit more? Yeah. But like I said, I can cook around it. Not a bad job. And save me from having to spend $240, so. There is diabetic friendly bread. I do need to find some of those recipes. I think he'd really enjoy that. Every time I do this, I wonder where exactly I wind up standing. Oh, I'm all the way at the end of the corner. Ha ha. Okay. Taste this once again. Mostly because I'm hungry. Still a little al dente, but you know what? For me, I'm fine with that. So we're gonna drop the heat. Now there's still a good amount of liquid in here, and that's fine because I gotta go get the Parmesan. Come here, Parmesan. There you are. Now you can add as much friggin' Parmesan as you goddamn like. Megs, what's up? How are you doing? Hate to say we're almost done. I know generally you would grate this by hand, but I'm lazy. So we're doing it this way. Let's see how much that. So this is going to dry it out a little bit, and we still want a little bit of heat because we want this Parmesan to melt a smidge, because that'll make it nice and stringy and yummy and cheesy and goodness. Gracious, there we go. Yes, sir. Now, Gordon Ramsay says that Risotto should move around like lava on a plate, but I say, however you friggin' like it, that's how you have it. Yeah, look at that stringy. Look at that stringy cheese! Oh, so good. So good. Alright. Now, while this is coming together, we're going to put just a tinge more left. I missed it by like 3 minutes. I always watch the VOD. I gotta apologize about the VOD. I did not know YouTube apparently tries to regulate the audio after the fact. So if you ever have a spike in volume, it will just shove the rest of the volume down on the video, which sucks. And I don't know how to make that stop happening, so I apologize. The previous VODs, it'll probably happen to this one too, have been super quiet, but we think we figured out what's causing it, so hopefully it shouldn't affect the next one. Asiago cheese would also be good. It does pair well with balsamic. This is actually pretty tangy right now, so I'm kind of glad I went with the Parmesan on this one, because that's pretty run-of-the-mill. There we go. Make sure that nothing's sticking to that bottom, especially with this cheese. Yes. Oh, she looking good. She looking good. Yeah. Okay, we can turn you off. But thank you so much for watching the VOD. I really appreciate it. Do a bread making with dad cocktails. Learning how to make bread. That would be awesome. We'll have to see if he wouldn't mind coming over and making bread with me. I mean, after all, I had my mom make her stuffing recipe. There we go. Alright, we're gonna put that thyme out of the way. Just a little pinch more of salt. And a good amount of pepper. Yes, thank you so much for the likes. I really do appreciate it. It does help. Okay. That is looking good. Oh yeah, nice and thick and runny. And yes! Alright, let's plate this sucker up. Okay, where is my serving spoon? Did I turn you off? I did not turn you off. Now I turned you off. Oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. Oh, look at the stringy. Yes, sir. Let's put that on a plate. I'm going to do a separate thumbnail so you guys don't have to be bothered with that. Now I can sit here and eat with you guys. Yay! Okay. Move this over. How are the... No. There we go. Okay, let's unplug this. Get stuff out of the middle. I usually have alert turn on when there's new content. Oh, you hit the notification bell? Awesome, thank you for doing that. They say it helps. I don't know. YouTube has gotten weird. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Put it over here, nice safe space where it can cool down. Da-da-da-da. Wonder if this is still gonna show. Ha! Oh, thank you so much, Amma. Not even bad time. I just lose track really easy, and then I see your thumbnail and boom, 5 minutes ago. Hey, that happens. That happens. Okay. The last thing we need to do, just to be all suave, is we're gonna get our raspberries. We're gonna get our tarts. And we're gonna dress these suckers up. So I'm gonna take the fork out of the way. Tarts. I don't even know if this is showing up. You know what? We can take this out. Let me switch to my other screen so I can see what this looks like. Oh, perfect. Okay. So you can take some fresh raspberries. You can slice up some strawberries. Any kind of berry will do. I'm preferential to cherries, but they're hard to get at this year. Oh, thank you so much, Ryan. And we're just gonna shove these around the sides. Now you can always make the tart shells from scratch. They will look a little bit better, but I'm one of those people where I will cut corners to devote my time to one dish in particular because, you know, we don't have all day. So I'd rather put all my attention towards the risotto and cut a few corners on the tarts. Thank you so much, Amma. I appreciate that. We send you some cherries from Traverse City. Oh my God, I love cherries so much. All right, I'm gonna dress up one more here. You can even put whipped cream on top of this if you really want to dress it up. At the end of the day, it's chocolate. It's gonna take care of itself. Okay, now let me get a small plate so we can see how this looks fully done. I'm so glad it's set up exactly as I needed it to. Yay! Boom. Oh, I should have had some mint leaves to go with this, shouldn't I? I did not think that through. I really enjoy your streams. I just need to set an alarm. Thank you so much, Megs. That's so sweet. We are currently streaming. Well, we're trying to figure out if Saturday or Sunday kind of works better for the cooking stream. Friday nights at 7 p.m. PST, we have our gaming streams. Mondays at 7 p.m. PST, we have our multiplayer streams. Those are hardcore set. It's the cooking ones. We don't know if we're going to have it Saturday or Sunday. Strawberries would be nice on those, yes. And a chocolate drizzle, that's also true. How'd they come out looking? Not too shabby. I can't get this all in one view, kind of, sort of. All right, let's dig in. Cheers. A little bit of bubbly, a little bit of mushroom. Oh, damn, that's so good. Oh, the cheese helped the tanginess to mellow out, which was really nice. Thank you, Officer Dan. Wow, that's so good. Now let's see how this tart turned out. Oh, good, you can still cut into it. Whoo, I was worried this was going to set up like brick. See what that inner looks like. Okay, so it's still a little bit gooey on the inside. I think a little bit longer in the fridge will probably help this to set up more. But then again, this should still be refrigerating for like another hour. Oh my God. Going with the different types of chocolate bars really helped. Because you get the chocolate, then you get a little bit of orange. Ooh, and then at the end you get a little bit of that spice. It makes it so complex. And I have to do a damn thing other than melt a chocolate bar. It's that's right, Megs. I forget you are in the United Kingdom. You know it's good when you smack the counter. Ha! Have it. What can I say? Wow, that is good. Local deli in walking distance that makes a good double-decker portobello sandwich. Dude, that sounds good. Let me switch to the other screen here so I can see chat a little bit better. Okay. Well, guys, I'm going to go stuff my face with this goodness. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope these recipes have been really helpful. Don't worry, we're going to be doing the other recipes, I'm sure, at some point in the future. Tune in let's say next Saturday. Tune in next Saturday, unless you guys tell me that Sunday works better and we'll move it. Tune in next Saturday. We're going to be making dim sum from mostly scratch. I'm really excited for that because I've been wanting to make pot stickers forever. If you haven't already, if you want to get that notification in your playlist, if you want to hit the subscribe button down below. And if you enjoyed this stream and like to let me know if you want to give me a thumbs up, that would be great. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We will be dual streaming pretty soon here, like probably the next weekend, to both here and Mixer. So if you happen to like watching on Mixer, that will also be available for you. I think we've gotten this with the issue of the song. We've gotten this mostly kind of sussed out the problem, so we don't have to deal with fixing issues on 2 platforms. We can fix it on 1 and then dual stream it to another. Going forward. Yes, hashtag Suck It Monday. We'll be back Monday at 7 p.m. PST with a whole bunch of multiplayer games that you guys can play along with. So if Monday happens to be kicking you in the genitals, you can always come hang out and basically tell Monday to go suck it. Because there's always a little bit of good that you guys can eke out of a bad day. Yes, I will see you guys Monday, 7 p.m. PST. We have a new video. The cocktail for Catherine. You guys have not played that game. It's so good. The new version of it, it sucks. And we'll be talking about that in the video. That will be coming out on Wednesday. Thanks for hanging out with me while I cook. I hope you guys have a wonderful Valentine's Day. I look forward to hearing about how wonderful it is. Even if you're just treating yourself to something really, really nice, and you should. And I will see you, awesome people, in Monday's live stream. Bye, guys.